Some people enter your life with nothing. No home, no family, no one coming back for them. And sometimes the person who saves them is not rich, not powerful, not famous, just someone with enough love to stop walking past. This is the story of Martha Ellis, a poor widowed cleaner who found a stranger's son hiding under a bus station bench. And years later, that abandoned boy returned home as a general. Martha Ellis worked the night shift at a bus station in a quiet town in Ohio. To most people, she was invisible. She cleaned the floors people walked across. She emptied the trash people left behind. She wiped the benches where strangers rested for a few minutes before disappearing into the night. No one asked much about Martha. No one knew that she had once been a wife. No one knew that her husband had died 5 years earlier, after a long illness that took not only his strength, but nearly every dollar they had saved. No one knew that her only daughter had moved away and called less and less with every passing year. And no one knew that when Martha went home before sunrise, she returned to a small house that had become too quiet for one person. Martha was not bitter. Life had hurt her, but it had not made her cruel. She had little money, but she still gave what she could. If someone was short on bus fare, she found a few coins. If an elderly traveler looked confused, she walked them to the right gate. If a mother needed help carrying a bag, Martha helped without being asked. She knew what it felt like to be tired, and because of that, she noticed tired people. She knew what loneliness looked like, and because of that, she noticed lonely people. But on one rainy November night, Martha noticed something that would change the rest of her life. At first, she thought it was a bag, a dirty backpack pushed beneath the last bench near the vending machines. Then the backpack moved. Martha stopped. The mop handle rested in her hands. The station was almost empty. The rain tapped against the windows, and from beneath that bench, 2 frightened eyes looked back at her. He was a little boy, no older than 9. His clothes were wet. His shoes were worn thin. His hands were wrapped tightly around a torn backpack, as if it was the only thing in the world that still belonged to him. His name was Caleb. Caleb had been left there hours earlier. A woman had brought him into the station, told him to wait, and walked away. So he waited. He waited through one bus departure, then another. He waited while strangers rushed past him. He waited while the ticket counter closed. He waited while the station emptied, and still no one came back. By the time Martha found him, Caleb had stopped looking toward the door. That is what broke her heart first. Not the wet clothes, not the hunger, not the fear. It was the way he had already stopped expecting anyone to return. Inside his backpack were 2 shirts, folded badly by small hands, an empty snack wrapper, a school photograph with one corner torn off, and a small plastic toy soldier, broken at the base, unable to stand on its own. That was all Caleb had. No ticket, no phone number, no address, no note, no explanation. Just a child, a backpack, and a toy soldier that could not stand. Martha bought him hot chocolate and a sandwich with the last coins in her purse. She wrapped her own scarf around his shoulders. Caleb sits on the bench and eats slowly at first, then faster. She did not ask too many questions. She did not make him explain what he did not yet have words for. She simply sat beside him. Sometimes kindness does not begin with a speech. Sometimes it begins with warmth, with food, with someone sitting close enough to say, without saying it, "You are not alone anymore." The police came that night. There were procedures, reports, questions, calls to child services. The officer said Caleb would be taken in. Martha understood. She knew there were rules for children found alone in bus stations. But when Caleb moved behind her and held tightly to the scarf she had given him, Martha felt something inside her refuse to walk away. She asked for one night, just one night in a warm house, one night away from hard benches and fluorescent lights, one night where the boy could sleep without listening for footsteps that might never come. One night became two nights became a week. Then came social workers, court visits, background checks, questions about money, questions about age, questions about whether a poor widow who cleaned floors could really care for a wounded child. Martha had no impressive answers. She did not own a large house. She did not have savings. She did not have powerful friends. But she had a clean record, a steady job, a small room with clean sheets, and a heart that had already made space for him. In time, Martha Ellis became Caleb's foster mother. At first, Caleb did not trust the bed. He slept on the floor beside it. He hid food in his backpack. He flinched when doors slammed. He apologized when he spilled water. He apologized when he laughed too loudly. He apologized for taking up space. Every morning he woke up expecting Martha to send him away. But Martha never did. She understood that love could not be forced into a child who had been abandoned. It had to be repeated, quietly, daily, patiently. Martha raised Caleb with the little she had. She cooked simple meals and made them feel like feasts. She washed his clothes until old fabric looked cared for. She helped with homework, even when she was exhausted. She packed school lunches after long shifts. She bought winter coats 2 sizes too big so he could grow into them. She made birthday cakes from discount boxes and decorated them like they came from a bakery. She did not give Caleb luxury. She gave him something better: consistency, discipline, safety, and the steady belief that he was not a mistake. But healing was not simple. At school, Caleb was the boy with second-hand clothes and angry eyes. Children sensed his pain before they understood it. Some mocked him, some avoided him, some tested him. And Caleb fought. Not because he loved violence, but because fighting was the only language life had taught him before Martha. When someone laughed, he heard rejection. When someone pushed him, he heard abandonment. When someone called him unwanted, he believed them too quickly. Martha never told Caleb he was bad. She told him he was hurting, and then she taught him that hurting people still had choices. She taught him that his hands were not made only for defending himself. They were made for building, for helping, for protecting, for becoming. Again and again, she told him the words that would shape his life. He was not what happened to him. He was what he chose to become next. Years passed. The frightened boy beneath the bench became a quiet teenager with strong shoulders and serious eyes. He still carried pain, but he no longer let it lead him everywhere. He ran when anger tried to rise in him. He studied when doubt told him he was not smart enough. He helped Martha without being asked. He fixed broken things around the house because broken things had always made sense to him. And on his desk, he kept the small toy soldier from the backpack. It still leaned slightly to one side, but Caleb kept it anyway, because to him, that soldier was not a toy. It was a reminder. Broken things could still stand. When Caleb graduated from high school, Martha cried like she had watched a miracle. To other people, it was a diploma. To Martha, it was proof. Proof that a child left in a bus station did not have to remain abandoned. Proof that love could reach places money never could. Proof that the world had been wrong about him. That day, Caleb told Martha he had enlisted in the United States Army. Martha was afraid, but she did not stop him. She had not raised him to hide from life. She had raised him to stand in it. The day Caleb left for basic training, Martha gave him the broken toy soldier. He smiled because he thought he was too old for it. But Martha knew he was finally old enough to understand it. The soldier was broken when she found him, but it still mattered, just like Caleb had mattered. Just like every wounded child matters before the world decides what they can become. Caleb left Ohio as a private. He carried a duffel bag, a nervous heart, and the memory of the woman who had given him a future. The army was hard, but Caleb understood hard. He understood waking up before sunrise. He understood being tired. He understood following rules. He understood pain. And for the first time in his life, discipline did not feel like punishment. It felt like direction. At night, he wrote letters to Martha. At first, they were simple. Training was hard. The boots hurt. The food was terrible. He missed her cooking. But over time, the letters changed. He began writing about responsibility, about teamwork, about leadership, about fear, about courage, about what it meant to protect people who were depending on him. Private became sergeant. Sergeant became lieutenant. Lieutenant became captain. And Caleb Anderson became the kind of leader people trusted in the dark. He served in difficult places. He made decisions under pressure. He carried wounded soldiers. He wrote letters to families when words felt too small. He lost friends. He saved lives. And every time fear walked beside him, he heard Martha's voice. He was not what happened to him. He was what he chose to become next. He kept the toy soldier with him, through training, through deployments, through promotions, through days when the world felt too heavy. It reminded him that a broken beginning did not have to decide the ending. It reminded him that one woman had believed in him before he had rank medals or a name anyone respected. It reminded him that leadership was not about standing above people. It was about standing for them. Back in Ohio, Martha grew older. Her hands became stiff. Her steps became slow. The house became quiet again, but not empty. It held Caleb's photographs, his letters, his old school books, his graduation picture, his first army photo. Sometimes he called. Sometimes he could not. Sometimes months passed with only a short message and a prayer. But Martha never complained. She had not raised him to remain beside her forever. She had raised him to become everything life once tried to steal from him. 25 years after the rainy night at the bus station, Martha received an invitation to the town's annual Veterans Honor Ceremony. She almost threw it away. She said ceremonies were for important people. She said her dress was old. She said her knees hurt. But her neighbor insisted. So Martha went. She sat near the front, hands folded in her lap, unaware that the most important moment of her life was about to unfold in front of an entire town. When the doors opened, the room stood. A decorated United States Army general entered the hall. Tall, composed, respected, the kind of man people made way for. The kind of man soldiers saluted before he spoke. At first, Martha did not recognize him. The boy from the bus station was gone. But then he turned toward her, and she saw the eyes, the same eyes that had once looked up from under a bench. Wet, hungry, afraid. Only now, they belonged to General Caleb Anderson. Caleb stood before the crowd, and told them a story no military record had ever captured. He told them about a boy with no home, a torn backpack, a broken toy soldier, and a woman in a cleaner's uniform who had every reason to keep walking, but chose to stop. He told them that every rank he had earned began with her. Every medal on his chest began with her. Every soldier he had led was touched by the lesson she taught him. Because Martha Ellis had shown him that saving a life does not always happen on a battlefield. Sometimes it happens in a bus station with a sandwich, a scarf, and a heart willing to care. Then Caleb stepped down from the stage. The entire hall watched as the general crossed the room and stopped in front of the woman who had raised him. He removed his hat, and then, in front of soldiers, veterans, families, and town leaders, General Caleb Anderson knelt before Martha Ellis. Not because she had rank, not because she wore medals, but because honor does not always come in uniform. Sometimes honor wears tired shoes, works night shifts, packs school lunches, and gives a forgotten child a place to belong. Caleb presented her with a framed display. Inside it was the broken toy soldier from his childhood, now repaired, standing upright. Beside it was his first army name tape, and beneath them were the words, "The soldier stood because you did." Martha covered her mouth and cried. The room rose to its feet. Soldiers saluted her. Veterans placed their hands over their hearts. And for the first time in her life, Martha Ellis realized that the love she had given in secret had grown into something the whole world could see. That day, Martha received no military rank, no official title, no command. But every soldier in that room understood the truth. Some generals are shaped in military academies, some are shaped on battlefields, and some are first shaped at kitchen tables by people who refuse to give up on wounded children. Martha had raised a stranger's son, and that son had returned as a general. Later that evening, Caleb took Martha back to the place where their story began. The old bus station looked different now. New lights, fresh paint, clean windows. But the bench was still there. The same corner. The same place where a forgotten child had waited for someone who never returned. Only this time, Caleb had returned, not as the abandoned boy, not as the child under the bench, but as a man who had come back to honor the woman who saw him when the world looked away. Beside the bench, Caleb placed a plaque on the wall. It was simple. In honor of Martha Ellis, who proved that one act of love can change a life forever. Martha said she had only given him a home, but Caleb knew better. She had given him a future. There are children in this world still waiting under benches, waiting in silence, waiting for someone to notice. Some are not in bus stations. Some are in classrooms. Some are in neighborhoods. Some are in homes where no one truly sees them. And sometimes, the person who changes their life is not the person with the most money. It is the person who stops, the person who kneels, the person who offers warmth, the person who says, without needing many words, "You are not a stranger anymore." Martha Ellis never commanded an army, but she helped build a general. She never wore a uniform, but she taught courage. She never received medals, but she lived a life worthy of honor, because love does not need to be rich to be powerful. It only needs to show up. Thank you for watching this Dustline story. With the help of artificial intelligence, we are bringing powerful visual stories to life, one scene at a time. Your support is what helps Dustline grow. So please subscribe, follow our channel, like this video, and share it with someone who believes in meaningful stories. The more you support Dustline, the more stories we can create and bring to the world. This is Dustline, where stories rise from the dust.